call to order. Join me in the pledge to the flag.
Allegiance to the flag, of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The day ain't over yet.
Jumping into 1.4, we have a presentation this evening from the Sullivan West Superintendent, Dr. Kathleen Ressler. Reference to our school budget. The floor is yours.
All right, I just had some handouts of a fact sheet. Everyone should be getting their budget newsletters out in the mail. So if you haven't gotten your budget newsletter already, it is on its way. Thank you for allowing me to say a few words tonight. I also want to continue to thank the Town of Tusten Highway Department because Don will return my texts at 4:30 in the morning. And when I have a district that's way down here and way up there, you really need to see both ranges. And it really doesn't matter. I'm pretty impressed. He always responds back and everyone does a great job down here. So I just want to thank you for that partnership.
We'll pass that on to.
So this year, our budget, in the summer of last year, we did some strategic planning with our district, and we had invited community members in to take part in redeveloping a new mission and vision statement. And a lot of our educational decisions and our programming decisions, our budget decisions were driven by our educational mission and vision. So our mission is we prepare students to be engaged, passionate, and contributing members of their community. And our vision is that we're doing this by providing an educational experience rich with individualized opportunities in an inclusive and nurturing environment where each student path is honored and supported. There are many roads to the success, which is happiness in life in the end. We have an excellent AP rigorous college set courses that can lead you to that 4-year degree and beyond. And we are really working on beefing up some of our more school to work areas. I've been meeting with the county manager. I've been meeting with a lot of local people in need of employees. So how can we help fill that gap? So in looking at our budget for this past year, we were really able to expand our agri-science courses. We were able to have that capital project reserve to offset capital project costs. We've honed in on that pre-K to 3 literacy focus, and that will continue in the elementary school. We had increases in our cybersecurity, protecting our district, flexible classroom settings to support student learning, and we had added another speech teacher in our district. So this is kind of from the past couple of years. We also had an enrollment study completed in the fall to show really where we're going to be in the next 10 years. And some of those facts are here below. Currently, we have 1,046 students in the district, and they're predicting over the next 10 years that we're going to lose 58 students. This will primarily be because we have most of our classes, and the classes coming in are around in low to mid 70s. We have 3 grade levels that are at 90. As they graduate out, we're not seeing an influx or another spike in population. We're also not seeing a drop in population. We have a couple classes that are at 60. It's looking, and we've noticed this past few years, what's coming in is 70. So while it says we're losing that 50 students, it still seems like we're actually going to be stabilizing. We're going to have the study done another 5 years so that we can, kind of say, okay, is this still accurate? What's going on? But for now, it gave us, I think, a positive outlook. Like we're not experiencing that rapid, hard decline that had happened in the past. So some summary highlights from this budget. We're expanding our career and tech education prep, our high school course electives. We're offering the seal of civic readiness. We have had, I guess about 5 or more years ago, there was 2 full-time art positions at the high school. One was reduced to part-time, and for the past few years, we've been filling it. But our enrollment numbers in art electives have increased, so we are increasing that part-time art position back to full-time because we're seeing students are enrolled in those courses, they're taking those courses, we want to support that. We have, we would like to purchase a school van to support a future during the school year driver's ed course. So right now we have, we offer driver's ed only during the summer, and it's like early hours, and it's really limited because it's, if I'm a parent that can get my child there at 6 a.m. to take this, and it's only limited to 16 spots. So what we're trying to do is build it back into our course load so that any student can have that opportunity, but we need a, we had 2 vans in the past. Our 1 van went at the end of last year, and we want to replace that. So we have another van to support that program. The program wouldn't be this coming year. We would just buy the van because you know how long it takes to purchase vehicles. State bids and money. So the van this year, and then 24, 25, bring a driver's ed course back. So now to the kind of nitty gritty here, we are proposing a 2.5 increase to the tax levy. This is under the New York State tax cap required. And we have estimated state aid is $17,880,334, which included the minimum increase of about 3% on our foundation aid. So the foundation aid is the aid that you can count on, the dollars that are equate to real dollars. And we, again, just the bare minimum. When you look at us compared to the rest of the county, we're kind of in the middle. You have some districts that were able to go out at a 0%. They, of course, saw much greater increases to their foundation aid, upwards of 30%. Again, all the districts that were that are going out and having to increase their tax levy, you know, saw those minimum increases of aid for us through the state. So we're kind of talking. The superintendents from Sullivan County met with Senator Obernacker on Friday, and we were talking to him about this foundation aid formula and how they determine, you know, what schools get how much money and what goes into that, and they're looking at redoing that formula. So hopefully our voices were heard. Other items that affect cost drivers are health insurance estimate 3.25 increase. OC services increased about 5% for us, and we have set retirement percentages that take a substantial amount of our budget. 13% for all employees, the employee retirement system, and the teacher's retirement system is 11% contribution. So for a home assessed in Coshocton, $100 home would be an increase of about $44 per year, and a $200,000 home would be an estimated increase of about $89 per year. We hope that between the programs that we're trying to put together and develop for our students, and the investment in those students to become productive citizens of our communities. The vote will be Tuesday, May 16th, this Tuesday, 12 to 9 p.m. For people in the Tusten community. It will be at the Tusten Library. We did do a new polling location in Jeff because previously it was in the school, but for safety reasons, we moved it to the Jeffersonville Library because you have to have your polling location open at all times. So that's not school safety minded anymore. So we moved that polling location. But for Tusten, it will stay the same in the library. That was my quick spiel. Have any questions?
Where's the vote in California?
Delaware Youth Center.
Oh, the youth center, okay.
Yes.
Thing, I'm on the library board too, and I'm like, how come you're not using the library? Yep.
There you go. Yeah, the youth center.
Okay.
You're gonna have a full-time art kind of thing? Is it full-time?
We will have 2 full-time art teachers in the high school.
Is that going to allow 7th and 8th graders to take art? That was a concern for a lot of parents.
Is it going to allow, I would have to go back and look at the schedule when there, but the more art teachers we have, the more proposed electives that we are able to have. So specifically, I can get back to you on that.
Okay, that'd be awesome.
All right,
So the bottom line budget increase is like 2 and change?
2.5.
Yeah, so the Social Security in January, the COLA increase for Social Security was 8.7. So if that's the official COLA, you're actually talking in a 6%, 5-6% less. Yeah, you're underwater.
Well, I mean, CPI, right? I mean,
Yeah.
our cost index is at 8% too.
Right. So
Really, we really streamlined. We're trying to make this work. We could certainly go out at the tax cap, which was like 2.56.
Right.
You know, I'm not sure if a year will come, we will ask more for that. I think you're right.
But I'm saying it's a tight number, given
It
that
is a tight
it's a
enough.
nearly 9% inflationary environment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Be commended.
Oh, thank you. And we are, and it's really Lorraine Poston, our business official, who really, we really raked through this and made it lean. Because we also, next year is our transportation contract is up. And so we had a transportation contract that started pre-COVID. And they're losing money on us right now. And with the new electric bus initiatives, I'm not sure what that's gonna end up costing us next year, but we're trying to lean up this year and do what we can do, because we know next year also is gonna be a little hard.
Budget time.
If anybody does have questions after I leave, it's, you can email it, I think it's budget@swcsd.org. You can always call the school, main office, first extension, happy to answer anybody's questions.
Are you comfortable sharing your email address?
Yeah, it's Bressler Cat, BRESSLERKAT @swcsd.org.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right,
Thank you very much.
thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
For our payment of bills, our general account dispersed $77,777.83. Highway expended $388,698.09. The water, $45,816.83. Sewer was $15,031.38. The lighting district, $3,869.09. Zero from the escrow accounts for a total of $531,193.22. Our largest was the highway. We had the first payment to Rutledge on the culvert, which I believe was $204,000.
201, yeah.
201, and also our water, we had engineering, which I believe was 18,000 in that.
And you have a tractor too?
The tractor also came in at 105,000, I
Yeah,
believe.
it's a big check.
So that was our highway bill.
Not the rail,
Yeah, the great one we paid for already. Bruce and Kevin, did the bills, any abnormalities or questions?
It was just one little thing and they fixed it.
Okay. A motion to pay the bills as presented. I have a motion from Jane, a second.
I'll second.
Second from Greg, for the discussion. All in favor? Aye, opposed? Our division reports are online, for the highway department, the water and sewer, and the code department, and the assessor. We also have a report from the Upper Delaware Council. I would encourage people to actually go online and read these.
I sort of looked at it. Here's the Delaware Aqueduct. Does anybody know where it is?
That's the one that brings the water from Cannonsville and Downsville to New York City,
Oh,
which they are redoing.
yeah, it's a nice report. Okay,
Energy Committee. The town has received the invoice from New York State Electric and Gas for the disconnect of the wires from the old Cobra heads on Main Street. We have sent that out. That was part of this bill run. Once they receive the money, they will schedule a crew to come in and do the disconnect so that they can have the old Cobra heads taken down. The poles for the lighting in the parking lot have been installed. We are awaiting the mounting and the hook of the lights up there. Main Street Wi-Fi, since 93 Main was rented, the Wi-Fi equipment needed a new location, so a new pole location was identified and the proper forms were sent to New York State Electric and Gas in mid-April. We have been advised that the approvals for this are running approximately 12 weeks, so we're keeping up on that. We're currently checking Spectrum prices to compare with Frontier for the Wi-Fi. We've been running into some issues with Frontier, and I've had some angry residents over Frontier. We'll make a phone call to them. Horse transfer agreement has been received, and it has been signed. Jen Porter has been working with Chomp, which is formerly the Bioenergy that, made the horse, and she's working with them to finalize the agreement for the move to the CCE and Liberty. Second quarter, January through March paperwork was processed by Jen Porter for the Sullivan Catskill Zero Waste Food Security Expansion Project, which is the DEC loan. And Kevin or Greg, anything to add on that at all?
I have a question. What is it? Just tell me about the Wi-Fi again. So the poles are installed, but we're not getting Wi-Fi, and what's happens in 12 weeks?
What happened was, we originally identified that we were going to put the equipment for the Wi-Fi at 93 Main.
Mhm.
Since we're not in the, building as the town and that's being rented, we had to find a separate location for the equipment, so they did find a pole. We need to get pole approval from New York State Electric and Gas. That has been submitted. They kicked it back. They wanted some other information. That also was submitted. But we've been advised that the approvals are running about 12 weeks. So the paperwork's in, but waiting to get the approval can take up to 12
Great,
weeks.
so all summer long, there'll be no Wi-Fi.
That's the cut to the chase part of it, yes.
Yeah. And do we have a price yet, or you're waiting for prices between Verizon and?
Correct, yes.
Okay. All right, just so that's clear. Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? We will move into the Water and Sewer Committee.
Yeah, we met May 1st at 8 AM and everybody showed up without a reminder, so kudos to our members. Only one person forgot, the chair. But anyway, so we reviewed the policy about what should happen when people turn off their water for vacations, go away for the winter or something. It was reviewed and it was once again confirmed that charges will occur each quarter, just the minimum charge for the maintenance of the line. And that will assure a smooth reestablishment to the system once it needs to be reconnected. Also, I had this on last time too, but employees in the water department do their best to inform you of any shutdowns, but please sign up for the code red alerts because that will also inform you of any shutdowns that are scheduled to occur or any emergencies. And you can sign up by following directions on the town website. Anything else? Did I forget anything? Because I did that from memory. I don't have my notes.
No.
No, that's good. Okay. Want me to go on?
Please.
Okay, grants. Look, Erie Culvert construction is moving along. I mean, and I suggest that everybody goes and takes a look because it's amazing what's going on. But they're waiting now. I think they're going to pour cement for the footings on Friday or Monday. It's just, they're really moving though, and they're working hard and they have a large crew. It's not like 2 or 3 people. There's numerous people. So I think that's moving along well. Water infrastructure project, we're still Delaware Engineering is coordinating that. We're waiting for the water. Oh, we did receive the grant from Sullivan 180. It's a $20,000 grant to the multi-generational park and around for the little children, which is really cute. And we're still waiting to hear on the Delaware River Basin Restoration Grant for the purpose of creating an open space plan, which we're working on. Conservation, I'll keep going. Conservation Advisory Council. 2 speakers from Delaware Highlands Conservancy presented a program last month, and it was related to conservation for wildlife habitat and people. The presentation was really well attended and it was very, very interesting. And I suggest that you consider attending our next one, which I didn't put here, which is the 22nd of this month. That will be our next Conservation Advisory Council public lecture. The committee met on April 18th and discussed the design for a brochure. And we're still waiting for information regarding our grant, as I mentioned up above. That's,
The 22nd on your lecture, time and place?
the place is here and it'll be, I think this time 6:30.
And what's the topic?
The topic is landscaping for your, the wildlife. Oh.
I'm glad you're doing it earlier.
And it is also being given by a local resident who designed our Kirk Road. That's Aaron McIntyre. And I hope everybody's enjoying the spring with Kirk Road because I certainly am with all the colors. Conversation about landscape design using native species and dead hedges. Dead hedges? Okay. Okay, that's that.
I will open the floor for public comment. I'll start on this floor and then we'll move to Zoom. The people way in the back that didn't want to sit in the front, nothing. Anybody in Zoom? Or I move into,
Raise your hand.
always come back. I will move into old business. 4.1, the revenue anticipation note from Tusten Culver. We have got a capital reserve fund in the highway of $330,452. That was a number I believe, Ken, you needed in order to go for bond council.
Yes, I can incorporate those, all the numbers into the bond resolution.
And then with the $800,000 of the bond or the revenue anticipation note.
Yeah,
Well, those are the numbers I know I was getting, Ken. We're gonna need to adjourn or recess tonight so that we can come back, but we need to have a resolution authorizing, or did we do that?
No, you did that last, yeah.
So then we're
I just
fine
need
with that.
the breakdown of the numbers so I can get the right information to bond council.
Do you want, is that number fine giving it to you like that, or do you want it off of the annual update document that
I
ended?
don't care, just as long as it's the right number. I mean, you want to exhaust that entire reserve
I
fund
think we should exhaust. the
into this
entire-
project, so just give me the exact number that's on hand.
so then if we exhaust that, I thought the 800 was gonna break even for our anticipated expense.
You're correct.
So what happens if you take a bond and you don't need it?
Well, what we'll do, because I think, as we discussed last week, we'll do a bond anticipation note. We're not gonna lock ourselves into long-term borrowing with the rate circumstances being what they are. So whatever we don't spend,
You
we'll
can do that.
apply towards paying when we do the,
Okay, you
yeah,
can do that.
yeah.
There's no
because
penalty.
the
for early
bond
payout.
anticipation note will come due a year from when we borrow it.
Okay,
So if we've got unexpended funds, we'll just use that money to pay down whatever we
okay,
long-term finance. I
okay,
guess is
so
the
that
easiest
does
way to
make
put
me
it.
happy.
I told you.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not gonna lay around because it's for the specific purpose. So we're
And you're
just gonna,
not penalized
no,
for the
no.
early payout.
Sure.
Good, got it?
Yeah.
Got it?
Okay, so we have already done the approval. I've got the number for Ken, so he can run with that one. 4.2, the grant for the park pavilion authorizing the funding.
We already approved that I could do that, and I said it was a matched grant, but we don't, you want authorized funding now, but we don't know what it's gonna be. We don't know how much the bottom line is gonna be for the cost of everything that we're doing.
Did you have to, do you have to do a resolution to accept the grant?
If you're going to, yeah.
Because you did a resolution to create it, now you have to do a resolution to accept it.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, you've made the resolution to apply,
Right.
which you did. Now the award has come through, so you're gonna accept it. Which is the next step.
so I move that we accept the grant as from Sullivan 180.
As
Which
in,
has
Or-
previously been approved for the application.
application for purposes of improving the park.
as a matching grant.
What?
As a matching grant.
That's what I move, is there.
Do I have a second?
I will second.
Further discussion on it? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? 4.3, we did get a email back on the speed limit reduction request for Lackawaxen, Irish Town and
Mount Pond Road,
Palm Road.
Waxon Road, Construction Turnpike Road.
So we, that will be forwarded. I spoke with the county today about getting the signs made up and the poles. They're about $150 roughly in material per. They're gonna speak with Don to see if he's gonna need any assistance getting them up. I don't know when they're going to come.
Is the speed limit as posted until the signs are changed?
There is no speed limit posted.
Oh, and is GPS now very often has the speed limit on it? Is there anything that we need to do?
The county would take care of that, but I can check with the sign department, but I believe that that is already taken care of when they. Because they already know where the signs are going, so they can download it into the system. Where they used to have to go out and actually physically be at the site, they don't have to do that.
Awesome.
So what's the board need to do? You need a motion to,
I don't believe so now.
yeah,
I think that's just an
Okay.
update.
No, you made the request, it went up, it goes to county kicks it up to the state.
Kicks it back to us.
Well, yeah, the state ultimately says what they're willing to allow you to do, which is what came back down, and now it's just basically placing the signs.
Any other old business that I've forgotten? Failed to mention, left out. New business, the authorization to create capital project accounts for highway and water. The purpose of this is we're receiving funding, both bond and grant funding. So that money will then go into these capital accounts, which are separate in the regular highway and water accounts, and then that way we can disperse the money from them.
So it's just a better way to keep track of things.
Correct.
Dedicated accounts to keep the
Right.
specific
right.
funds in for those projects.
All right, I move that we initiate capital accounts for
Capital project accounts.
capital project accounts for highway and water.
I have a motion and a second.
I'll second
I have a second from Bruce. Further discussion?
they'll be more specifically titled than that. They'll be, the title of the fund will be specific to the project, correct?
Actually, no, it's gonna be just a project account, and then it'll be tied to whatever monies in what project, because it's not a reserve account.
Okay,
So we're gonna fund it for the particular project, but once the project is over, we'll be able to still fund that account should we get another large.
oh,
large
okay,
project.
all right, I understand.
And yeah, and we won't need the,
And so you don't need to recreate this.
correct.
So once the culvert job is done, and we have some other water, highway project, okay,
We can use that account.
Okay.
Or we can fund that account just like a reserve account.
Right.
And we take it out, expend it back, we can put it in there, or we can put it as a line item to fund, so that in the future.
right, okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Authorized transfer of $100,000 to the general
Who's the
fund.
second on that? Who did it? What's that?
Bruce.
Bruce did, sorry.
Authorized transfer of $100,000 from the general fund savings to the water fund capital. This is money that will have to be paid back once we start receiving our grant monies. And
We should look into, how do you do that?
we'll make some phone calls to,
Oh, Candace?
Candace.
She just said that it's a different.
It's supposed to be an upfront amount.
It should say something on the award letter, shouldn't it?
I will have to check that.
Mm.
So the authorization is to start paying some of the bills that we're
Yeah,
starting to
that's
get in.
important. All right, I move that we transfer $100,000 from the general fund reserve
General fund savings.
general fund savings
So we can't take that of any of our reserve funds on
to the water capital fund now, or
the water, capital project account.
water capital project account?
I'll second that.
I have a motion second for the discussion. All in favor? Aye, opposed? Riverfest street closure. James, you know when Riverfest is?
Yes, it's always the fourth Sunday in
July
July.
22.
Let's see what that is. 1, 2, 3, 23rd. Right, it's always a Sunday, isn't it? Yeah. July 23rd.
Okay. I can put that on the June.
Does that mean the street closes on the 22nd for load-in or at the whole street?
No,
Not the whole street.
no, they don't close it until March.
We can do that in June anyway, just to make sure we got the right date.
Maybe I have the wrong one. Okay.
5.5, I don't have it on there, but I know I expressed a desire to the board to utilize,
But in the
Money
time
for-
for,
5.4.
right, I'm sorry, 5.4, we do not have the budget modifications because 5.2 took care of it. So what I'll put in for 5.4 will be the request for funding for the laptop, which is $1,100.
Yeah.
I'll make that motion.
Second,
I will email you a second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed. Any other new business? I missed anything? The floor back for comments?
Riverfest is July 23rd. If we want to get it over with.
We can do that. Make a motion to authorize the Riverfest street closure for July the 23rd.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Back to public comment.
Sorry.
That's okay. Anybody online? Board comment?
I have a couple of things. Tusten Social, the after-school programming continues from 3 to 6 every Wednesday through June 21st. Registration is necessary, and that can be done at info@tustenyouth.org. This week's program is a hip hop thing that sounds like it's going to be really exciting for the kids. We've been at capacity, and it's very exciting to see the little community that is being built amongst our youth. And the next SAGE session, which is for people over 60, is May 16th at the Bridge Street Bakehouse from 1:30 to 3. Per normal, there will be delicious baked goods, free coffee, a little bit of programming, and a chance to be social. We also have a life desk where if anyone is having any issues with some bureaucracy or a life skill, we can put them in touch, hopefully with something that will help move the situation forward. Want to give a shout out to the Tusten Theater has been being used very well. Act Underground Theater did a wonderful production of All in the Timing, and DVAA did a lovely production of Zoe Comes Home, both of which were well attended. And finally, after over a decade of service, Kioshan Lore has retired from the library, and I think we should give a shout out to all she has accomplished while she was.
More than a decade.
Yeah. Yeah.
Couple of decades. I
Yeah, I think it was under 20, maybe under 20, but it was wonderful record of
Yeah.
service. She'll be missed.
And yes, she will. Would you add, May 12th, which is coming up, is the first of, the classical movie series at the Tusten Theater. And the first one is? Does anybody know?
Something in the 3rd and 4th.
It happened one night.
It happened one night, correct. So that'll be fun, and it's in conjunction with Barbara.
Yes,
So that'll be nice.
and that is monthly.
Yes, once a month, I saw the schedule.
I just, the culvert work going on, who's the engineer, Rutledge last name, what's his first name?
No,
Danny
Danny McConnell is the head person down there on the workforce.
Anyway, I was just schmoozing with them, walking the dogs
Uh-huh.
and the guy is building, 2 abutments. And he's looking at me and he says, I'm just staring at that railroad bridge in horror.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but he says, I can't believe that. I mean, this is a guy who builds bridges and he's looking at this bridge. I just want to go on public record that the railroad bridge is officially been cited by an engineer as like a scary
well, I
thing.
don't know that Danny is an.
Whatever, a guy building bridges is
Well,
saying that that's bridge.
That we have requested, and I'm not defending the railroad, but I will tell you, I'm defending us. The railroad has come out within the last 3 years, I think, and we've asked them to check it over and over again. And they say it's unsightly, but it's sound.
I'm just, all right, yeah. I'm just, they're an interested party. This is a guy who, who built, I'm not, it's nothing to do with our board. Responsibility. I'm just saying, I just wanted to make a public
Well,
statement.
we can ask, we can request them to come
Yeah,
again. I can't
I mean, I talked to Don about this too, and he says, yeah, every once in a while they put a little metal on.
Yeah, they drill holes and stick metal in the whole.
Like a Band-Aid. It's a scary thing. I mean, it's only in the middle of the town, and the trains are only tons and tons carrying.
Yeah, but one end was on each side.
Whatever, not an engineer.
On a more hopeful note, May 20th is also the start of the Tusten Farmers Market coming back to from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. rain or shine every Saturday through October 28th.
We need to come up with a date for a recess of this meeting so that we can meet with Ken regarding the RAM.
Okay. What's convenient for you?
Well, don't worry about me, because I'll make sure that we get the I mean, it's gonna be simply acting on a bond resolution. That's gonna be prepared by bond council. I think it's more important that you come up with a date and time that at least, or.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, I think you should have the meeting for.
How much time do we need between now and
Ballpark, 10 days, give or take?
10 days? So 2 weeks would be the 23rd.
Planning board meeting.
Do you think we could
We
push
can
that
do it
to
during the
night?
day, we don't have to do it at night, because it's gonna only
You
be
do whatever
one
time
thing
you
on the
want, yeah.
agenda.
Right.
Well, you're gonna have a 5-minute meeting.
Bruce can't be here.
Or you're gonna continue this meeting. for
I'm
5 minutes.
here through the morning of the 20th, and then I'll be gone for a bit.
So
19th, that's
For
10
the
days.
public meeting, I'll say nothing.
That's the 19th, 10 days, it's on Friday.
no, the 19th doesn't work for me. That is that is DBAA's benefit, and I will be
Campground.
working.
Do you want to do the Monday, the 22nd, as long as 4 of us could be here?
Well, but Bruce can't be here during the day.
Not during the day.
We could do a 4:30 or 5.
4:30, 4:15, I can be here.
Oh, yeah.
22nd.
I go around.
Oh, that's the lecture day.
Yeah, sure.
You can do it right before if you want, or we can do it several hours. It's not gonna take long.
I don't care. I'm here.
4:30,
What day is it?
4:30.
the 22nd, right?
Okay. We will now ask Greg what country he'll be in.
Oh.
You don't have to
Probably
answer.
like Italy or Greece or.
Oh, yeah, that's right. 4:30.
Nebraska.
Foreign country, right?
Oh,
So 4:30 on the 22nd.
that's a Monday. Okay,
Okay.
that's good, Bruce. 4:30 is
Yeah.
not too early for you?
No,
It
that's
doesn't
fine.
matter. All
Is
right.
there any other business before we recess?
I don't think so.
Hey, Ben,
Yeah,
can we say something about Glenny's bench dedication after the veteran service at the old church? Oh,
Of course I will. The Tusten Southern Association will be having their annual Memorial Day observance at the Tusten Baptist Church on the 28th of this month. And that starts at 2:00. There's a graveside service afterwards, a short one, doesn't take very long. And then after the graveside service, there will be a dedication of the bench that the Tusten Energy Committee has donated with a plaque commemorating Lenny. So they're gonna do that right after the graveside service. And everybody's welcome. They've got one of the Trex benches and I believe Brandy made the plaque for it and it's very nice. So,
Shout out to Brandy for all the benches and the work that went into that.
that was the last one that they got. Is that okay?
Rich, you remind me, there's one other announcement. The Tusten Historical Society is having Glenn Pontier come and talk about rafters, tales of rafters. And that's that'll be interesting. That's here at 7 o'clock, I think, or 6:30 on the 17th. Is it 6:30? 6:30 on the 17th. Light refreshment will be included.
What meaning of rafters?
Logging.
Okay.
Loggers. Yeah, tales of the rafters, I think it was something.
Anything else? A motion to recess until the 22nd at 4:30 PM. This location.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Uh,
Aye, opposed? Thank you, everyone.